G'day folks, if you like to explore in your 4motion van just as much as we do, then there's going to come a time where you have to think about what if something goes wrong. And by that I mean, what if you happen to get stuck? How are you going to get yourself out of that situation? And do you have the gear with you to get yourself unstuck? Now of course, you can carry a lot of gear, but some of the gear you need another vehicle, but that's okay, because too often than not, most of the places you're going to travel to in your van, there's going to be other people around. So what's our first go-to? Our first go-to for recovery is going to be our traction boards. Now, in our case, they're the Max Tracks. We use them, I love them. It's no secret, they're, for me, they're probably the best product on the market. So that's our first to go-to, device. Other than that, we happen to have some recovery points on our vehicle. Now, stock standard, these vans do not come with any recovery points. They do have tie-down points, and they do have a tow hitch on the front of the vehicle, but they are not recovery points, and they shouldn't be used as a recovery point because it is downright dangerous. So in our case, what we've had done is get installed 2 recovery points on the front of the vehicle that were from Cycle, and they got installed by Tracker Australia. In fact, they made a special tool, a special drill bit to get the recovery point in, particularly on the right-hand side of the vehicle, because, on the left-hand side, the passenger side, on the right-hand side, there was already a position there for it. But the point is that they were done professionally, and now I can rely on these recovery points because I know they're going to get me out of trouble. So, at the rear of the vehicle, what I've got, I'm using the actual tow bar as the recovery point. When I say tow bar, I'm using the actual groove where the tongue goes in, and I use a pin to put the snatch strap through that pin, the eyelet of the snatch strap, and that becomes the best place to use as a recovery point on the rear of the vehicle. So if we come back to the front of the vehicle, the way I'm going to attach everything is using some D shackles. Now there are soft shackles, our ones happen to be proper metal rated shackles. Look, the soft shackles are good. I haven't used them, but I reckon they'd be probably just as good, if not better, because they're a bit lighter, so you're carrying less weight in the vehicle. Anyway, so we've got the shackles. We've also got the snatch strap, which in our case is an 8,000 kilogram snatch strap. Now, just a point on that. If you're buying a snatch strap for your vehicle, you've got to remember that the advice is that you should be using a snatch strap that's 2 to 3 times the GVM of the lightest vehicle in the recovery. So in our case, we're 3.2 tonne, but if a vehicle comes up that's a Land Cruiser that's 4 tonne, then we have to use 2 to 3 times the weight, the lightest vehicle. So in our case, if we're 3.2 tonne, let's call it 9 tonne, 9.5 tonne, then we need 2 to 3 times that. So an 8,000 kilogram snatch is going to be perfect for most situations that we're going to be in. So anyway, we've got the 2 shackles. We also carry an equaliser strap, and that equaliser strap for us is a tree trunk protector, as a matter of fact. So we can use that as the equalising point. So what we do is we're putting a shackle on each side of the vehicle at the recovery points. We're sliding through the actual snatch strap, and that becomes the equalising strap. So we get a centre point where we're going to pull. So we get a nice even pull out of the stuck situation, our bog situation, if you like. When we're putting the shackles on, we put them on and we turn them back half a turn, so when you put load on that recovery, you're not going to tighten up and bind that the bolt inside the shackle. And the last thing we do, we're going to put a blanket over the snatch strap. That way, if anything should fail at the recovery point end, then it's all that shock and load will go into that blanket and hopefully push down the projectile, if you like, will go forward and potentially cause damage. So look, that's us in terms of recoveries, recovery gear and recovery points. Of course, we carry a shovel as well, which is our best friend in that situation. We hope we never need it, but that's the gear we carry as a basic setup. Of course, we do have a hand winch we also carry, which we'll do another vid on that and show you just how to use that, set it up, and it'll get you out of trouble, of course, because we don't have a winch on the front of the vehicle. Anyway, we hope that gives you some information. If you're interested in recovery points, go talk to your probably the van builders, Tracker Australia. I know that Skyline Campers are also doing some recovery points, and I'm sure there's other reputable businesses that can give you some advice, like Frontline Campers and Octon Campers. There's lots of really good operators out there, so talk to your people, talk to your professionals, give us a buzz if you're interested. We're more than happy to have a chat with you. Anyway, that's it for us. Have a good one, and get stuck out there for the love of travel.